to The View According to You. All right, guys. So today we have something a little bit different. At the end of this video, we are going to have 2 video clips. Usually, this is an audio-only podcast. So you usually just put your phone down or your device down and you can just listen to me in your ears. But I will let you guys know when the audio is about to start, because today we're going to be talking about replacements for Whoopi Goldberg as the moderator of The View. And I think just there are 2 examples that I want to show you guys. And I think it's important to actually see, not just yet, but to see how they handle themselves and how they conduct themselves. So I'm just going to have 2 clips at the end. You can still put your device down and go about your business and just listen to me for a while. And before I start playing the clips, I will let you guys know that the visual is about to begin, just so that you can have a look along with me. All right, guys. That said, I cannot believe that I am doing this, but today's topic was actually, the idea came from an article that was released at the time of this recording about 13 hours ago from the US Sun. Now, I know, before you guys judge me, I know the Sun is the furthest thing from a reliable source, but it was an interesting little article, and it just got me thinking about the replacement moderator for The View. I know a lot of us in the community have been saying for a while it's time for Whoopi Goldberg to go, and the heir apparent has always been Joy Behar, which is why she gets the Fridays when Whoopi is not there, and even now with the Weekend View, Joy has been hosting it. But I think we all know that even for Joy, the time is near for her to exit as well. And I do think, though, although there are a lot of rumors about this being Whoopi and Joy's last seasons, I do think it would be a bit risky for The View to get rid of the 2 biggest names on the show at once. So I think probably what will happen is probably they'll let go of Whoopi first, and then give Joy another year. But in that year, Joy would then be the moderator. We all know Joy has spoken about this publicly for years, that has been her dream job. She's always wanted to moderate. And after she was fired, for those 2 years, in order to get her back, they promised her that she could moderate when Whoopi wasn't there, which is what has happened. But I don't think long-term she is the heir apparent to actually take over the show, because I think it's coming about that time where she's going to be retiring soon as well. She is still very active and still, very youthful in a lot of ways. So I don't think she'll ever fully retire, but she might go out and do more of, her plays. She's been doing the writing classes. I think she's got a lot of other things that can keep her busy and keep her fulfilled. But really, actual long-term solution to who would moderate the table, I thought it was an interesting topic. So before we get to my thoughts, I just want to share with you this article from the US Sun, which is kind of hilarious, and I don't take it seriously at all, but it started the conversation, so I wanted to share it with you guys. The headline of the article, obviously because they are so dramatic, Sunny's new view. The View execs eager for Sunny Hostin to replace checked out Whoopi Goldberg as show moderator. Now, this article was written by Molly Quirk, who is the senior showbiz reporter at the US Daily Sun. So I'll just quickly read the first half of the article to you guys, just so that you get an idea of what they are saying. So, according to reports, The View's executive producers are eager for Sunny Hostin to replace Whoopi, who has checked out of a job. I mean, that is true. We can't dispute that. Multiple sources have shared how Sunny is being groomed to take over the show's lead moderator. You hear that, guys? Being groomed to take over the show's lead moderator. The transition is even said to be underway with the writing on the wall. A senior show insider has told Rob Shutter's Substack, the writing's on the wall. Okay, we're repeating the writing's on the wall. We get it. The writing's on the wall. They go on to say, the network knows The View needs a refresh, someone younger, more engaged, and more connected with the next generation. Sunny checks every box. Although the transition hasn't been confirmed, there are some telling signs on the show that seemingly reveal that it has begun behind the scenes. When the ladies were chatting about their sexist marriages this week, Whoopi shut down the topic by saying, "It's early in the morning," complete with a bone-chilling stare. According to Rob Shutter's insiders, the viral moments got around the building with it fast becoming a hot topic. The insider said, Sunny was steering the conversation. Whoopi looked checked out. That's become the pattern. Now, that is true, guys. Sunny does steer a lot of the conversations. We'll get back to that later with my commentary. It is claimed that although ABC has affection for Whoopi and deemed her a legend, legends do age out, and ABC is looking at the future. With the ABC focusing on the future, it is also claimed that Whoopi is being phased out and Sunny being introduced as the leading moderator. And this transition has begun. She's smart, stylish, legally trained. Sunny is gradually leading the way for a fresh new The View. It has been hinted, with an executive urging viewers to watch closely as it happens in real time. And fans have spotted how clocked out Whoopi has been looking at the recent months. Whoopi Goldberg on The View is like an aunt at a family gathering, occasionally wise, mostly just tired of everyone's nonsense, said one of the viewers on X last month. So then it just goes on about more comments that The View has received about Whoopi's performance online on X, and then goes through some history of the shakeups of The View panel. So basically what the article is telling us is that Sunny Hostin is being groomed to take over for Whoopi. Personally, I don't think this is true at all. If for no other reason than the fact that I think Sunny, as they say, steers a lot of the conversation. She drives a lot of the conflict, the back and forth, the discussion. She keeps conversation flowing, which I think if you are in the moderator seat, you have to make sure that everybody else is getting their 2 cents in and everybody is getting their point of view, which I would think would be a misuse of Sunny's knack for pushing and getting across her side to force the opposing side to push back. I think that sort of is a role that she does well. So that for me is where Sunny is best placed. Besides that, Sunny has moderated The View before. I think she's done it like twice or maybe thrice. I've tried to get some clips from where it was a fuller panel, but those clips are very difficult to find. I have, however, found one from I think it was in 2020, March 2020. So that was the beginning of COVID, where she moderated, and on the panel was herself, Sarah, and then we also had Megan, and Dr. Oz, for some weird reason, was guest hosting. Well, I suppose because it was during the COVID pandemic, they wanted a doctor's point of view. And I will play a clip from that episode. And even in that, you will see that the conversation does not flow without Sunny. So she constantly has to jump in and ask a question to sort of probe people to respond and engage in the conversation. That said, I mean, she was good at the moderating. I just think it's a misuse of her talent. So I'm going to play her episode, a clip from her episode with Sunny moderating. But after that, I'm going to play who I think should be the new moderator. Now, I know people feel the moderator should be a big name. It has always been a big name. At first it was Meredith, then they got Rosie, then they got Whoopi. But honestly speaking, daytime TV, the budgets are being cut. I don't think they can afford to get a real big name. The legends such as Whoopi and Rosie, I don't think they can afford to do that anymore. And I think they have realized that they need to be wiser with how they spend their money. So I am suggesting someone in a different lane who might surprise some, but I think would be brilliant in the role. If any of you watch CNN, you might know her. She also has a show on PBS. Her name is Christiane Amanpour. Now, this woman is brilliant. She is engaged. She knows news. She knows politics and has a broad knowledge of current affairs, both domestic and internationally. But also, she is able to have lighter discussions and speak about pop culture, even though that's not her forte and she doesn't know much about it, but she's able to engage. And I first got to see that many years ago. I think it was about, I want to say, 12 years ago, that Anderson Cooper had a View style show. It only lasted one season. It was called AC360 later. AC360 later. And she was a regular panelist on that. And there they'd obviously discussed heavy news, and then they'd ended off with a pop culture topic, whatever was buzzing that day. Within the pop culture sphere, and she was just excellent at it. Anna Navarro was also part of the panels a few times on that show, and you got to see Christiane and Anna go back and forth, and I thought she was really good. So for those of you who don't know her, or those of you who might think she's too serious, I do get that criticism, but trust me, this woman can create interesting television and can also give the gravitas to the role of moderator without being a big sort of pop culture name like Whoopi Goldberg or Rosie was. She gives gravitas in terms of the political and the newsworthiness, because at the end of the day, The View is still under the ABC News banner, and they have been struggling in recent years to get good, serious political guests, particularly from the Republican side, and the show has sort of before, because it was such a trending show, even the Republicans had to come there just to get the eyeballs, but they don't need The View anymore. So The View has lost that currency, that gravitas as being important in this political sphere. Remember, at one point, the New York Times said it was the most important political show. So I think Christiane will bring back that gravitas. She's also able to control a panel. She's also got decades of experience of hosting her own shows. And I think it might be appealing to her. She's the head of international news at CNN, but I think she might be at a place where she wants to slow down a bit, and not to retire, but just slow down a bit. And this might be a good option for her, and they might be able to lure her to come try a hat at something different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play first a clip of Sunny Hostin moderating on The View, and then I'm going to play a clip from Christiane Amanpour on AC360. Now, it's very difficult to find clips of AC360, so this is just the one that I could find. Unfortunately, I couldn't get one with her and Anna together, but I think this gives you the idea of Christiane and how strong and what a force she would be. And I also think whoever they have on the panel, whether they have someone who's a little controversial, sort of the Meghan McCain who makes the juicy, salacious, clips and gets people talking about The View again. Christiane is someone strong enough to even keep a personality like that in line. So that is my idea. That is my pick for a replacement for moderator. What say you? Who would you like to see in the moderator seat? I would love to hear from you guys. But check out these 2 clips. Enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.
A new poll found only that 37% of Americans say they trust what they're hearing from the president. 60% say they have little or no trust whatsoever in what he's saying. So how confident are you at the table that he finally understands what needs to be done?
I think when you're talking about a virus, you need to go to doctors. So right now, politicians are secondary to me because they're getting their advice from people with information and facts. So right now, I'm not finding a lot of comfort in anyone other than doctors. So I'm glad you're here telling me what's going on right now and what we should be doing, because that kind of minimizes also the sources we're getting it from by making sure the people telling us what to do are credentialed doctors.
But he's holding all these press conferences, right? And he's the leader of our country. Shouldn't people have a little bit more faith in what his advisors, who arguably are doctors, are telling him?
Well, yeah, and I think Dr. Fauci said the other day that he felt I think it was on Sunday, he said he was actually starting to feel like people were really listening to him, which gave me some faith. But at the end of the day, although they have to act, and I do find comfort in constant updates and news break-ins, I want to hear from everyone. But the people that are offering me comfort are the doctors.
Well, I can just speak for the physicians around him. Dr. Fauci is a superstar.
He
always has been. And there are other experts in that room. Dr. Jerome Adams, the Surgeon General, who I've had on the show. He's just really expert at understanding human motivation and how to balance our natural instincts with what we actually need to hear. And as a surgeon, I would always tell the residents, tell the patient when you're going to hurt them. They can always deal with the pain as long as they expect it. And the one criticism you could offer is, no one told us this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
And in fairness to everyone who's in leadership, it took a while for most of us to wrap our heads around this. If 2 weeks ago even we told a viewer of the show what was happening today in America, they would not have believed it was possible.
But it happened in Italy, it happened in China. That's what I don't understand. Why didn't we learn lessons? I mean,
no, I agree with Andrew on that. Absolutely disastrous. And
well, that's not the way it's been played in many other capitals. People are saying that he has delivered, you know, he's won plaudits for the way he's strongly put his case.
I think there's a time element here. They were saying that earlier, and they've been some slip-up, verbal slip-up.
But I think back to what you were saying, Christian, you said that the president is giving interviews. Giving interviews is not building a coalition of the willing. I would argue that the president. You said, but you're saying, oh, he's doing a good thing. You know, he's giving interviews.
No, I didn't actually say a good thing, Crystal. I said he's got a heavy lift because he's now trying to flood the zone after 2.5 years of saying exactly the opposite.
I'm trying to respond to what you said, and my impression was it's doing a good thing. He's giving interviews. But all these interviews, all these lobbying. Don't use the word good. There's no judgment value there.
Okay,
but you framed it in that way. But I mean, we're having a conversation here. So all the lobbying supposedly that he's done, right, with Congress and with the world and our allies, British is off the page. They're not on board. France, Holland said at first, I'm going to help you. Now Holland said, you know what, I'm rethinking that.
No, he's not saying that at all.
So this is because this president has done nothing to build relationship with Holland did say that. Holland said he's going to wait for Congress, and then he's going to wait for the UN inspectors to conclude their report. But I want to go back to what Charlie interviewed. I have a question for Charlie.